Hello, my name is Brandon, and welcome to Retro Reactions, a place where I experience amazing music from the 70s, 80s, and 90s for the very first time. And today I'm extremely excited to be traveling back with you to 1973 to listen to the entire album, The Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd, for the very first time. Just in time for its 50th anniversary, I might say. I know many of you voted this as your very favorite Pink Floyd album. It's world famous. It's one of the top selling albums of all time, I think number 3. It spent tons of time on the charts, like years, I believe. And so I'm really excited to finally hear it as a cohesive whole piece, which you all say I must do. I'm not going to talk or say too much during this reaction. I just want to really get fully immersed in it, like you've all talked about, and have that full experience that you've all talked about. And then, I'll give my comments at the end of each section, side 1 and side 2. Again, I'm going to listen to it straight through as you've all suggested, and then I'll split the video in two, side 1 on one day, side 2 the next day. And again, my comments will be recorded afterwards, but then I'll kind of splice them in, after each section. So I'm finally doing it the right way. Full album all the way through, no pausing, little commentary. And again, I want that full experience that you all had and continue to have every time you listen to this one. So without further ado, here we go. Now we take a big turn. So catchy.
Get back. I'm alright, Jack. Keep your hands off of my stack. Money, it's a hit. Don't get me back to good bullshit. I'm in the high fidelity first class traveling section. I think I need a lift jet.
I don't remember this part. I like that they stripped it down. Here comes one of my favorite transitions ever.
I certainly was in the right.
Perfection.
And in the end, it's only round and round, round, round and round, 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 round. Haven't you heard? It's a battle of words. Most of them are right. Listen, son, said the man with the gun. There's room for you inside.
I love that the song takes its time. Richard.
Short, sharp, shock. They don't do it again. Dig it? I mean, he got off like, because I couldn't give him a thrashing, I only did it once. It's only a difference of like how long, isn't it? I mean, good manners don't cost nothing, do they? Hey.
Down, 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 and out. It can't be helped that there's a lot of it about. Without
So many subtleties in that organ.
and who deny it's what the fighting's all about. Out of the way, it's a busy day. I've got things on my mind. The word of the price of tea in this life. The old man died.
Beautiful transition. love that note. Nice change up.
The lunatic is on the grass. The lunatic is on the grass, remembering games and daisy chains and laughs. Got to keep the loonies on the path. The lunatic is in the hall. The lunatics are in my hall. The paper holds their folded faces to the floor. And every day the paper boy brings more. And if the dam breaks open many years too soon, and if there is no room upon the hill, and if your head explodes with dark forebodings too, I'll see you on the dark side of the moon. The lunatic is in my head. The lunatic is in my head. You raise the blade, you make the change. You
Very different sound.
rearrange me till I'm sane. You lock the door and throw away the key. There's someone in my head, but it's not me. And if the cloud bursts, thunder in your ear, you shout and no one seems to hear. And if the band you're in starts playing different tunes, I'll see you on the dark side of the moon.
Love that.
Taste all you feel, and all that you love, and and all that you hate, all you distrust, all you save, and all that you give, and all that you deal, and all that you buy, big, borrow, or steal, and all you create, and all you destroy, and all that you do, and all that you say, and all that you eat, and everyone you meet, and all that you slight, and everyone you fight, and all that is now, and all that is gone, and all that's to come, and everything under the sun is in June, but the sun is eclipsed by the moon.
There is no dark side in the moon, really. Matter of fact, it's all dark.
Did he say it's all dark? Okay then. So I think I'm going to throw my notepad away because there's no way to describe that experience that I just had and that you've all had. So we should just end it right here. I love how they open the album with the heartbeat and close with the heartbeat, because this was a extremely intense life journey, so many directions, just, to a whole nother level. Whew. What did I just hear? Okay, once again, I'll give my general impressions of the album on first listen. It was so overwhelming to start with, There was such rich and diverse lyrical and musical content packed into 42 short minutes. It was hard to know what to feel on first listen, I was left speechless practically. You saw my reaction at the end, it was just so intense. It really felt like an out-of-body experience at several parts, and the whole album listening in general, just absolutely incredible. And that was with full lighting. So I can only imagine hearing this either in pitch dark or by candlelight. Probably even more intense, more beautiful, more sad, more haunting, more everything. Absolutely amazing, like I said, and like nothing else. Certainly not like Animal's album or any of their other albums. Just so unique, and it's just in its own lane. It's a masterpiece, as you all know, and I can see why it's one of the most famous albums of all time. I realize I need many listens to the full album to grasp everything and to get all the feelings and emotions that the album is capable of giving. All right, so first we have Money. Such a cool song in so many ways. Probably the dirtiest sax sounds I've ever heard. And that's a good thing, of course. I'm sure my face said it all during that part, and my expressions just absolutely intense. And don't know if it was the same sax player as Us and Them, but if it was, kudos to him. Dick Perry, I believe, is his name. I noticed so many amazing synth and guitar patterns and effects here. Just so incredible. Gave so much flavor to this song. I also love the change up in the bass line in the second half of the song. I don't remember that part. Maybe I've never really listened to this full song. I probably heard the chorus on the radio or the first part on the radio and just kind of didn't pay attention too much. So that second half with the change up in the bass line was amazing. So groovy. And was the tempo sped up in the second half? It sure seemed like it. Then they stripped it down near the end, took a lot of the musical elements out. They kept the same chords and melody, but again, it was very stripped down, and I absolutely love that. Just so many ingredients in this song. It was really enjoyable. David's solo was again amazing on this one. He's always amazing, obviously. And one thing I wrote down, I cannot wait to hear this one at Pulse. It just has to be so incredibly epic. And next we move on to Us and Them. As I've said, that transition from Money to Us and Them for some reason is one of my favorites and just always gets me. And I think it's those long, steady opening chords of Us and Them. They just kind of take their time and draw you into their mood. Absolutely incredible. I didn't take notes on Us and Them. I love this song. I've loved it for a few years and I just wanted to get lost in it. It's so relaxing, so emotional, so beautiful. And the piano, organ, and the wonderful saxophone, this time by Dick Perry, are so special on this one. So really appreciate it. And of course, it fits perfectly with the album. Comes at the perfect moment. Then again, we transition beautifully into number 8, Any Color You Like. I was very lost in the music at this point. It was so hard to concentrate at some parts because, again, out-of-body experience. I love that there are a couple of instrumentals on this album, including this one. It's a really interesting idea. I love instrumentals. I don't think I've heard too many Pink Floyd instrumentals, so really appreciated it. What they did is, they let the music shine completely, and they let the music fully tell the story in this one and a couple of the other instrumentals, and I appreciated that. Diversity is always good, and there's plenty of diversity on this album. As always, Richard was shining here, especially for me on this one. But of course, they all shine in every song. All of them are masters at what they do, as we all know. I noticed there were full guitar conversations going on here, I think in the second half. Absolutely intense, more intense than any other guitar speaking or call and response that I've heard in many other songs on this channel. Just full-on conversations right in the forefront. Really appreciated that. They were so striking and so powerful. Then we have Brain Damage. This one, really interesting song. It's clearly discussing mental illness. Now, does anyone find there to be a lot of Beatles influence here? For some reason, I definitely heard it. I don't know. I just got that reference as soon as I started hearing the melody, the lyrics, the singing, I assume Roger sang this one. The music actually had a happy feeling in many parts, and it was very psychedelic. But I think that's all meant to be deceptive when you contrast it with all these dark lyrics about mental illness and mental decline. I'll have to read those lyrics to fully see what was said, but I know that's the subject of the song. I did notice even more spoken voices here, and they gave me a very uneasy feeling, especially that laughter that occurred a few times. Very haunting, and I don't know, I just got that feeling. In this song, I really didn't know how to feel or what to think, and I think that's probably due to the clashing ideas for me between the music versus the lyrics, and they do that in a lot of their songs, and definitely impactful here. And lastly, I love those long-held synth notes near the end. They were actually like mimicking the vocal melodies heard earlier on, but they were just single notes, kind of just following that melody. Really love that. Obviously, Richard, again, doing his brilliance. And of course, much too soon, we end with Eclipse, number 10. It was also a very short song, and it has a very encore or finale type feeling to it. It's like many of the elements of the album came together for a final curtain call. That's the impression I got. The final chord seems to give the song and album a happy ending. And that was really interesting because there's a lot of dark themes going on. But then you get the final spoken line. I think you all know what that is, especially the second half of the final line. It's all dark, basically. And to me, I found that very ominous, very, very ominous. And that's the very last thing you hear. It's almost like a warning. And again, this whole album, wow, just in a league of its own, obviously. So yeah, probably way too many lyrics since this is a full album to digest. I think what I want to do is listen to the album over and over, get to know it well, and discover the lyrics through listening instead of reading them like I normally do. And I think that's the way you guys did it back in the days. And I think that's a special and a different way to do it for me, at least, on this channel. So as I discover them, things will probably make more sense and maybe my impressions of the music will change, but just absolutely love this one. I know you all do. I can see why you all voted this one as your favorite in the early poll that I did at the beginning of my channel. Wow, just what an experience. I get it. Of course, I love this one already. Just with one listen, I'm definitely going to rate it the Epic Platinum Record Award for the entire album, The Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd, 1973. Happy 50th anniversary to this brilliant, epic masterpiece. All right, that's a wrap. It was really fun and a different, enjoyable experience reacting to a whole album for the first time on this channel. And, to pick the very first one, this is the album. There's nothing better, I think, to react to as a whole album. So, good on me. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you were able to catch the full side 1 and side 2 reactions. They're broken up in 2 separate reactions on 2 separate days. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate your support. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below if you wish to chat about this amazing album or simply to help the channel grow. We'd really appreciate it. And again, thanks for all your support. I'm so glad I finally know this album after all these years. Anyway, you take care, stay safe, stay hydrated, and remember to let peace, calm, and light into your day and night. And I will see you again next time in the past.